Stepped on the scene, dripped in saline. Whole crew shining, call me Mr. Clean. Came in from the back, walked right to the front. Dancing to the music, smoking on the. Got the women smiling, punk grilling me, looking all dusty. Black Force energy, I don't even drink, but the team pop bottles. Not here for the beef, but the Glock holds hollows. Think I'm cocky, but I think I'm worse. In this flexing like a Mr. Universe.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros. Are email champions good or bad for boxing? We have another email champion, Jaron Boots Ennis. We're going to take a look at some tweets, and then we're going to discuss this. So the first tweet we're going to review is a quote from Boxing Scene, posted by Michael Benson, and it states, the IBF have now officially confirmed that they've stripped Terrence Crawford of his IBF welterweight world title because they ordered him to defend versus Jaron Boots Ennis next, but he could not fight the mandatory due to Earl Spence's rematch clause. As a result, Ennis has been upgraded from interim to full world champion at Boxing Center. So here's what Jaron Boots Ennis tweeted after he received the email. Jaron Boots Ennis posted a picture of him in the ring with the IBF belt, which he didn't win in the ring, which it's one of those, placeholder belts. And he wrote, what's going to be their excuse now? So I'm turning it over to you, G. What's your reaction to this? And are email champions good or bad for the sport of boxing?
All right. To be truthful, I'm actually not against it. And the reason why is because, like, once a fighter reaches undisputed, it's real difficult to adhere to all of the governing bodies, right? So you just know sooner or later that fighter's just going to relinquish the belts, or the governing bodies are going to just take their belts, right? IBF were just the first ones to do it. So that was bound to happen to TC. Now, them giving it to Boots, to me, I like the decision because the reason why a lot of fighters in the welterweight division could ignore Boots because they're like, yo, what's in it for me? But now they have to see him if they want to be a champion, or now Boots has leverage. He goes, well, if you fight me and you beat me now, you become the IBF champion. So in a way, I think it's actually good for boxing. And what's also good about it is if TC wants to stay in 147, like if he wants to stay as opposed to moving up to 154, Boots could possibly get a fight with TC, and maybe Boots could now be an undisputed champion, so to me, it's a win-win for everybody. We get to see Boots fight the big fights now because now he's a champion. And I kind of feel like, well, it kind of sucks to just get appointed the belt, but I'm not necessarily against it if the person is actively trying to become the champion and the current champion or the governing body is preventing that person from their opportunity. Boots been calling out, big dogs for a while now. You know what I mean? And so if TC is just like, yo, due to my rematch with Spence, I can't get this dude to fight, then I can't get mad at IBF for being like, hey, you know what? The rules are the rules, so we're going to have to strip you. It's only right, man. You know what I mean? So congratulations to Boots, but I'm not going to really view him as the champion until he actually gets in the ring and defends. You know what I mean? Like when he actually beats somebody, then I could be like, you're a legitimate champion. And I think the same way when two guys fight for a vacant belt, I view it the same way. I'm like, I guess you're the champion, but are you really the champion? You didn't beat a champion to get it. So to me, you got to at least fight a top contender. And then when you finally fight a top contender and you actually still remain with the belt, then I could view you as a legitimate champion. But congratulations for Boots Ennis for actually receiving the IBF title, and I'm just looking forward to his next fight.
All right, TBE.
I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like it because I feel like it's not for Boots. Like, congratulations, Boots, for getting the belt. But like what the IBF did, I feel like that's kind of like messed up. Like, you can't order a fight when you see there was a contract, there was a rematch clause that was initiated right after the loss from the first TC and Spence fight. So on the side of IBF, you gotta at least let TC fight that fight. Then go ahead, G.
But that contract doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the governing bodies. That has to do with promotional companies. You see what I'm saying? So you're pretty much, the promotional companies are holding these belts hostage. It's not just Boots that's in line, bro. They have like a whole roster of guys that are ranked that pay their dues to get that belt, but they're getting prevented because the champion has another rematch. The champion has another voluntary. Like, this is what prevents these guys from moving up. So it's not fair.
I hear you, but for instance, what was it? What belt was TC holding before he came undisputed? Wasn't it like the WBC, right?
WBO.
Yeah,
WBO. So now you basically, if Spence was to win, you stripping him of winning undisputed. So you're like, it's like you're ruining, you're downplaying the fight now. Like, now I gotta go get my strap from somebody else because you stripping him while the current fight is going on. Even though we all know Spence might not win, but anything's possible in boxing. To do that, now you're like, the fight loses a certain level too. So if Spence wins, he's just unified champion again. But he's not undisputed. He's not gonna get the feat TC got when TC beat him. And that's why I feel I don't agree with the IBF stripping him at this moment, because now you just watering down. You're like you're taking away the shine from the fight. Even now people be like, yo, it's only 3 belts on the line, or TC gonna whoop him again, things like that. So it doesn't have the same like feel when we saw it the first time. And Boots, whatever you do with the belt after this, go ahead, go on, challenge the greats, go be great, go collect them, go get some straps. But what the IBF did, I think it's kind of corny. It kind of like ruins the rematch, and it kind of like, if whoever wins the second fight, it kind of takes away from like their accomplishments. So,
quick question:
Okay.
if let's say Spence wins in the rematch, would then they make a tiebreaker, or would it just be like, nah, that's just a one and done type of situation?
I think they have to, based on the contract.
You see what I'm saying? That's if I'm IBF, yeah, you lost that belt, son.
But if they're paying their sanctioning fees, like, what's the IBF losing? Ain't they charging them to all these belts?
Bruh, everyone's paying the fees. If you in like the top 10 or something, all of y'all are paying fees. Imagine you're like number 2 or number 3 on that list, just waiting for your shot. And they're like, yeah, you're not going to get your shot this year. Wait till next year. Matter of fact, you might not get your shot till 2 years. You're going to be like, yo, what's going on here? Because most of these fighters only fight twice a year anyways. I'm just saying, bro. Nah, yo, you got chop it, just get it over with, man. They did the right thing.
All right, hold on a second. So I want to say this. I want to give props to G, because your argument actually helped. It made me change my mind a little bit. Like, I am against it, but you helped me see a reason for it. So, like, for example, I believe like you should win the belt in the ring. Like, to me, that's the ideal situation. That's the real situation. That's when you become a champion. When to be the man, you have to beat the man. But what happens when the man keeps avoiding you, right? And you want to fight the man, but you're not the lucrative option, or the man keeps picking someone else over you. At what point should someone be stripped? Which is a good point that you brought up, G. So I actually do kind of see where it could help the sport, where it's like, okay, you're undisputed and you keep avoiding this particular mandatory, so we're going to strip you and give the belt to this mandatory challenger. And if you want the belt back, now you got to fight the mandatory challenger that you keep avoiding. right? Makes sense to me. But the only issue that I have in this situation is TC couldn't fight him because he's contractually obligated to give Earl Spence the rematch. Now, hear me out. The IBF title was with Earl Spence at first, and Earl Spence would have been the mandatory for Jaron Boots Ennis. TC just won the belt from Earl Spence, right? And now they're stripping him like, Boots is your mandatory and you didn't fight him. Boots became his mandatory in a situation where it was impossible for him to fight Boots. Think about it. Soon as he got the IBF title, he was already contractually obligated to give Earl Spence a rematch. So what he should say is to the IBF is, if you can get Earl Spence to step aside and let me fight Jaron Boots Ennis, then I'll do it and we can get it done. But Earl Spence already activated his rematch. So what can TC do? So to me, I do have an issue with it because TC's not ducking, and there's no evidence to suggest TC was ducking. When Jaron Boots Ennis was mandatory, was Earl Spence, they didn't make that fight. They didn't make that fight because it was two PBC guys, and PBC didn't want to. Now that it's TC, it's, oh, let's go collect this belt. And that's where I have the issue. So it's not that they emailed the belt to Jaron Boots Ennis. It's the fact that they stripped TC, and TC didn't even have the chance or wasn't even in a position to defend it at all. It just seems effed up to me. So that's my issue with it.
It's real like it's real corny. It's like, yo, the dude just won the belts like a couple months ago, and you stripping him. Like it's like you're not even giving him a chance. Like you see this now or never. It's like, come on, and you see the contractual obligations and everything, just to strip him and not even give him like at least 6 months, 7 months, a year, just like everything settles. But you're gonna just strip him right away. That's just.
All right, can I provide a little pushback? Because I actually agree with you guys, but my only issue is prior to this fight, right? The TC Spence fight. When was Spence's last fight? Was that like?
That was a while. Spence was inactive for a while.
Exactly. So now you're asking a governing body to wait again for additional like maybe another year before they actually put their belt up for another fight. That's a long wait, bro. That's like 3 years of that belt not moving.
You see how we call the WBC, we be cheating? Well, the IBS is I be fed up, and they fed up with all this like drama. So I get you, I understand.
Nah, their name should be International Boxing Federal Investigations, because there's a documentary on the IBF, by the way. It's called Boxing In and Out of the Ring, I think. I saw it years ago. And it's about the corruption within the WBC. It's available on YouTube, I think. I know it's on Prime. It's called Boxing In and Out of the Ring. So basically, someone who was involved with ranking fighters at the IBF was approached by the FBI saying that they're investigating corruption in boxing. And this dude said to them, like, what took you so long? And so he basically wore wires in video evidence when he went to meet with like the head of the IBF to discuss their rankings. And you see actual footage of them sitting down discussing rankings. And you want to know how they did it? Who's this fighter promoted by? Oh, this fighter's promoted by Don King. Oh, how much money Don King give us? He gave us $50,000 or whatever. Okay, so you think we can move these two fighters up in the top? I'm sure that'll make Don happy. Oh, blah, blah, blah. That's how they rank the fighters. They didn't rank the fighters based on their quality of wins or even the eye test based on their physical attributes and talent. They rated them based on how much money they received from their promoters. So the IBF is actually documented as being corrupt. There's a federal investigation that you could all check it out. It's like I said, it's on it's called Boxing In and Out of the Ring, I believe. So the IBF is known for being corrupt. Known for being corrupt. Now they're saying that they oh, it's different now, whatever. So perhaps maybe this is them saying like we're never going to be in this situation again, or no one's ever going to accuse us of being corrupt again. But for me, it's just a bad look to see TC get stripped as soon as he won without having an opportunity to defend it, because contractually he's obligated to give Earl Spence a rematch. Now, here's the other
series on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. Yeah, so you can find it on YouTube. So for me, right, what's weird and what's weird to me, right, is the fact that it's looked at as a negative thing that Boots has to wait. If I'm Boots and you can enter into an agreement with TC right now that says if I beat Spence in the rematch, I'll fight you next for the IBF title and all my belts. Why not wait for a shot at Undisputed, bro? Why not wait to collect 4 and 1? Go ahead, G.
Because we heard TC say he wants to move up to 154.
That's true.
You know,
that's
so
true.
like,
but if he signs the contract, then he's contractually obligated. That's why I said at least give him that option. Now, if he would have denied that, then at least there'll be some justification. My issue is you're putting these fighters in lose-lose situations. Like, excuse me, like Jamel Charlo. Jamel Charlo got stripped and they gave the belt to Tim Tszyu, right? My issue with that isn't that they stripped Jamel and gave it to Tim Tszyu. My issue is they waited until the bell sounded for his fight with Canelo to strip him. And my point was, why not wait until the end of the fight and then tell him, are you fighting Tim Tszyu next or not, and then strip him? Why wait until the fight started and then strip him of the belt? Just so you can promote it as undisputed versus undisputed? Because it helps your bottom line. But then immediately, that's my issue. The way they're moving is sketchy. Like what you're saying, G, makes sense. Okay, you should have done it from the beginning. Oh, you're going to fight Canelo instead of fighting Tim Tszyu? Give us that belt. Giving it to Tim Tszyu. Instead, no, we're going to wait until the night of the fight. So why not wait to see if he can defend it? That's my issue with it. They're moving sketchy with it. And that's why it's hurting boxing. It's like they're rubbing the corruption in your face, basically. Yeah. And that's my issue with it. But I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe. Remember, you can listen to our podcast on all major streaming services. Do you think email champions are helping or ruining boxing? It's the Boxing Bros.